Hello, dear friends, and welcome. Tonight, we are journeying back to the gentle heart of the late 14th century to spend a quiet evening with a devoted herbalist and apothecary in the rain-softened hills of medieval Provence. The air is scented with lavender, and the world outside is veiled in the softest silver mist. So settle in, pull your blankets close, and let us begin, allowing the hush of history to settle over us like a comforting shawl. Imagine a stone cottage nestled at the edge of a lavender field, its windows aglow with candlelight. Within, the walls are thick and cool, shelves lined with glass jars and woven baskets, each brimming with dried herbs and petals. Outside, rain whispers on the slate roof, a gentle rhythm mingling with the distant song of a nightingale. Tonight, we shall follow the herbalist's quiet steps, her gentle rituals, and her thoughtful heart. In the heart of this provenal cottage, the apothecary's day begins anew with each rain-shrouded dawn. The floor is flagged with uneven stone, cool beneath bare feet, softened here and there by braided rush rugs. The air is rich with the mingled scents of lavender, rosemary, and thyme, each herb carefully dried and bundled with twine. On a heavy oak table, smooth with years of devotion, rests a linen apron, faintly perfumed with the earth and sun. The herbalist's hands move with practiced grace, fingers stained with the green and gold of summer's harvest. She selects a sprig of sage, brushing its silvery leaves, and listens to the soft tap of rain on the shutters. Beneath the window, a pot of violets blooms, their purple petals catching the light, offering a quiet reminder of beauty even in the gentle hush of spring rain. The beeswax candle flickers softly beside a stack of parchment and quills, its golden glow casting gentle shadows across the work table. The scent of the candle mingles with lavender and the fresh, green sharpness of mint leaves scattered in a wooden bowl. The herbalist arranges her tools, a pestle and mortar smooth and cool to the touch, a fine mesh sieve hand-woven from willow, and a small, delicate spoon of whittled boxwood. She wears a gown of dove-grey wool, its sleeves rolled to the elbow, and over it, the linen apron, still damp from the morning's wash. Her hair is plaited and coiled at the nape of her neck, and her cheeks carry the faintest flush from the warmth of the hearth. Outside, the rain deepens, drumming softly on the stone path that winds toward the walled garden, where rosemary and lavender sway in the mist. The herbalist moves to the hearth, where a copper kettle simmers gently over the embers, sending up clouds of fragrant steam. She adds a bouquet garnished sprigs of thyme, bay, and a single star anise into the bubbling water, releasing a comforting aroma that fills the small kitchen. The scent is soothing, earthy and sweet, promising warmth against the chill of rain. On the mantel, bunches of dried marjoram and chamomile hang upside down, their colors faded to honey and cream. The gentlewoman hums a quiet melody, a tune learned from her mother, as she stirs the kettle with a wooden ladle. The rain outside is steady, a silent companion, its rhythm as measured and comforting as her own breath. The candle's light glows brighter now, softening the edges of the room, blurring the boundary between day and night. She kneels by a low chest, its wood darkened by age, and lifts the lid to reveal folded linens, each piece embroidered with wildflower scornflower blue, poppy red, and pale green stems. She selects a cloth, tracing its hem with a gentle finger, and lays it upon the table. The herbalist's cat, a grey tabby, curls by the fire, purring softly, its fur warm and silken beneath her hand. Beside the hearth, a basket of freshly gathered eggs rests in a nest of straw, their shells speckled and luminous in the candlelight. The herbalist pours hot water from the kettle into a porcelain cup, adding a spoonful of honey and a twist of lemon. Steam rises, fragrant and inviting, as she sits for a moment, hands cradling the cup, eyes closed in quiet gratitude for the comfort of simple things and the gentle shelter of her home. Beyond the small window, rain beads upon the glass, tracing silver rivers that catch the firelight. The garden is a haze of green and violet, rosemary bushes glinting with droplets, and lavender stalks bowed under the weight of water. Occasionally, a robin flits from branch to branch, its russet breast a bright patch amid the grey. The herbalist dons a cloak of undyed wool, its weave thick and comforting, and steps outside to gather fresh herbs. The air is heavy with petrichor scent of rain meeting earth mingled with the sweetness of lavender in bloom. Her basket is woven from willow, the handle smooth from years of use. She gathers mint and chervil, careful not to disturb a sleeping ladybird nestled among the leaves. Each plant is chosen with reverence, a silent conversation between woman and earth, gratitude exchanged in each gentle touch. Returning indoors, the herbalist shakes raindrops from her cloak and hangs it near the hearth. She brushes damp hair from her brow, the scent of rain clinging to her skin. The kitchen is a haven, aglow with the candle's light, the air warm and fragrant. She sets her basket upon the table and begins to sort the herbs, laying each stem with care upon clean linen. Some will be used for tinctures and salves, others dried for tea or strewn among linens to ward off moths. Her hands move with the rhythm of long practice, each motion unhurried and sure. A small cauldron, blackened with use, hangs above the embers, ready for a new infusion. As she works, the gentlewoman glances toward the window, watching rain trace delicate patterns down the glass, a reminder that outside the world is quiet, held in the gentle embrace of rain and dusk. A knock sounds at the cottage door, soft, unhurried. The herbalist smiles and wipes her hands on her apron before opening the door to a neighbor, an older woman wrapped in a shawl of faded rose wool. The visitor carries a basket lined with homespun linen, filled with a gift, golden rounds of fresh cheese, still warm from the morning's making. The herbalist invites her inside, and together they settle by the hearth. The neighbor's hands are rough from work, but her eyes are merry, and her laughter is gentle. They share tea and honeyed bread, crumbs scattering across the tablecloth. The cottage fills with the warmth of quiet conversation, memories of loved ones, the joy of a successful harvest, the hope for good weather to come. The sound of rain blends with their voices, a lullaby as old as the hills. After the neighbor departs, the herbalist tidies the table, folding the cloth with care and setting the cheese aside for supper. She turns her attention to a well-worn journal, its pages creamy with age and filled with neat lines of script. She records the day's harvest: lavender, mint, chervil, and notes the changing weather, the growth of the violets, the first spears of asparagus in the garden. Her script is small and precise, each entry a quiet act of remembrance. A pressed pansy marks a favorite page, its colors dulled but its shape perfectly preserved. The candle flickers, casting her shadow on the wall. She pauses, pen in hand, and listens once more to the rain, drawing comfort from its ceaseless rhythm. These are the moments she cherishes: slow unfolding of a day, the gentle work of hands, the quiet peace of a well-loved home. As evening deepens, the herbalist prepares a tincture for a neighbor's child, a simple remedy for sleepless nights. She measures chamomile blossoms, their petals soft as silk, and combines them with dried lemon balm in a porcelain bowl. The scent is delicate, calming, promising restful dreams. She pours warm water over the herbs, watching as the colors swirl and bloom, then strains the liquid through a fine cloth. The finished tincture is poured into a small amber vial, the glass cool and smooth, sealed with a beeswax stopper. She ties a sprig of lavender to the bottle with a ribbon of blue silk and sets it by the door, ready for the morning's errand. The cottage is quiet now, except for the gentle purr of the cat and the endless patter of rain. The world seems to slow, every breath and heartbeat drawn into a cocoon of safety and ease. The candle's flame dances, sending golden notes into the air, while the herbalist turns her attention to preparing the evening meal. She fetches a loaf of bread from the larder, its crust burnished and fragrant, and cuts thick slices with a keen-bladed knife. She adds a wedge of the neighbor's cheese, creamy and flecked with herbs, arranging it upon a wooden board. From a stoneware jar, she spoons out preserved cherries, their sweetness a memory of sunlit summer days. On the hearth, a small pot simmers with lentils, leeks, and wild garlic, the aroma wholesome and inviting. She savors the texturous yielding crumb of bread, the warmth of cheese, the soft pop of cherries. Each bite is a celebration of the season's gifts and the quiet abundance that fills her days, even as the rain continues to fall, steady and sure, against the old stone walls. After supper, the herbalist cleans her utensils with water drawn from a rain barrel. The basin is porcelain, edged in blue, cool beneath her hands. She dries each piece with a linen cloth, its weave airy and soft. The cat leaps onto a windowsill, watching droplets race each other down the glass, tail flicking in contentment. The kitchen air is tinged with the scent of soapwort and rosemary, the gentlewoman's own blend for cleansing. She moves through her evening routine with ease, a ritual of order and care. Shelves are dusted, jars checked and labeled, the mortar and pestle wiped clean and set in their place. She pauses to light a second candle, its flame bright in the deepening dusk, and carries it through the cottage, letting its glow reveal the gentle order of her world. Each room is modest but thoughtfully arranged, every object cherished and necessary. In her small chamber, the herbalist opens the shutters just a crack, admitting the cool, rain-scented air. Her bed is simply filled with straw and layered with woolen blankets, the topmost embroidered with a border of wild thyme. A lavender sachet rests beneath the pillow, its fragrance soothing and familiar. On a nearby stool sits a basket of mending, a gown to be patched, stockings to be darned. The thread is spun from flax, sturdy and pale, and her needle gleams in the candlelight. She mends with quiet diligence, each stitch a meditation, a way to honor the labor and love woven into her belongings. The rain outside is a gentle hush, lulling her into a state of peaceful reflection. She remembers her mother's hands teaching her to sew, the warmth of a shared hearth, the comfort of simple tasks completed with care. When her mending is done, she folds the gown carefully, smoothing the fabric with gentle hands. She places it on a chest at the foot of her bed, then returns to the kitchen, where the fire glows low and steady. The herbalist collects a handful of dried rose petals and sprinkles them into a small copper pan. She adds water and sets it to warm upon the embers, releasing a delicate, floral steam that mingles with the ever-present scent of lavender. The cat, sensing the day's end, curls in a basket lined with soft wool, eyes half closed. The gentlewoman sits quietly, watching the rain, her thoughts drifting like leaves upon a stream. Candlelight flickers on her face, painting her features with gold. She is content, a gentle soul, at peace in her cottage, sheltered from the world by walls of stone and the steady song of rain. A small wooden box rests on the mantel, its lid carved with an ivy pattern. Inside are treasurous ribbons faded to pastel, a pressed sprig of rosemary, and a letter written in careful hand. Tonight, she unfolds the letter, its parchment soft and worn, the script familiar and dear. It is from a childhood friend, distant now but never far from her heart. The words speak of another village, of gardens and laughter, of memories shared and hopes for the future. She reads slowly, savoring each line, letting the connection warm her like the glow of the fire. When she finishes, she traces the signature with a finger, then refolds the letter and returns it to its box. The rain has quieted to a soft drip, as if the world itself is listening, and the herbalist sits for a while, lost in thoughts of friendship and love that endure, even across time and distance. With a gentle sigh, she rises and fetches her embroidery hoop. The linen is stretched taut, pale as moonlight, and threaded with silks in shades of green, violet, and gold. She settles into a high-backed chair by the fire, candlelight pooling upon her lap. Each stitch is placed with care, tracing the outline of a lavender sprig, the needle glinting as it slips through the cloth. She hums softly, a tune that mingles with the rain and the crackle of the hearth. Embroidery is both craft and meditation, a way to inscribe beauty onto the fabric of daily life. The texture of the linen is cool beneath her hands, the silks smooth and lustrous. As she works, her mind drifts, remembering childhood picnics among the lavender rows, the laughter of friends, the warmth of provernal sun upon her face. She pauses to stretch her hands, admiring the growing garland of flowers upon the linen. The air glows with the gentle warmth of beeswax, and the small room is filled with contentment. On the windowsill, a clay pot of marjoram leans toward the candlelight, its tiny leaves fragrant when brushed. The herbalist sips from her teacup, the brew bright with lemon and elderflower, and allows herself a moment of stillness. She looks around her home, the orderly shelves, the woven baskets, the polished pewter spoons. Each object has a story, a memory, a purpose. She feels the weight of time, not as a burden, but as a gentle hand guiding her through the rituals of the day. She is grateful for the quiet, for the rain, for the chance to create beauty in small, lasting ways. Rain begins again, a gentle patter on the slate roof, lulling the cottage into deeper calm. The herbalist completes a row of stitches and lays her embroidery aside. She stands and moves to a shelf lined with jars, their contents carefully labeled in her neat hand: Althea for coughs, rosemary for memory, lavender for sleep. She selects a jar of dried calendula petals, their color bright as saffron, and adds a pinch to a bowl. With a wooden pestle, she crushes the petals, releasing a subtle, honeyed fragrance. The sound is soft, rhythmic. She adds olive oil, stirring slowly to create a soothing salve for chapped hands. The mixture is thick and golden, its scent a balm against the chill. She fills a small pot, corks it tightly, and marks it for the shelf-off, a gift of the garden, another kindness offered to herself and her neighbors. Night has deepened, and outside, the world is wrapped in rain and shadow. The herbalist moves through her cottage, lighting a lantern with a wick of plaited hemp. The glass is clear and cool, its handle worn smooth from years of use. She checks the door, ensuring the latch is firm, and draws the curtains tight against the storm. The cottage feels smaller now, a cozy haven adrift in the night. She surveys her work for the day: herbs gathered and sorted, tinctures blended, letters written, embroidery begun. Each task is a thread in the tapestry of her life, woven with care and intention. She allows herself a moment to simply breathe, to listen to the rain and the low crackle of coals in the hearth. The air is sweet with lavender and beeswax, a promise of rest and renewal. She prepares a simple nightcap: warm milk simmered with a hint of nutmeg and a spoonful of wildflower honey. The milk froths gently, filling the kitchen with a soft, sweet aroma. She pours it into a porcelain cup, its surface painted with trailing vines, and sits by the fire to sip, feeling the warmth spread through her chest. The cat, ever faithful, leaps onto her lap and kneads the folds of her skirt with velvet paws before settling into a purring ball. The herbalist strokes its fur, marveling at the delicate stripes, the softness, the deep, contented rumble. She gazes into the flames and lets her thoughts drift. The day has been long and gentle, filled with small joys and quiet care, and now, as the world draws close, she feels the peace of a life well loved and well lived. With the fire burning low, the herbalist rises and tidies her work table, placing each tool in its proper place. The pestle and mortar are washed and dried, the sieve hung by its leather loop. She gathers the empty teacups and plates, rinsing them with water warmed on the hearth. The sound of water and the soft clink of porcelain are soothing, marking the gentle end of another day. She opens the small window above the sink, letting in a cool, rain-scented breeze. The night air is fresh, carrying the distant call of an owl and the soft perfume of lavender drifting in from the garden. She closes her eyes for a moment, savoring the sensations, the cool air, the warmth of the fire, the softness of her woolen gown. She feels safe, cocooned in her little cottage, as the rain continues its gentle song. She walks softly through the cottage, checking each window and shutter, ensuring all is secure for the night. Her slippers are made of felt, dyed a gentle green, and they make no sound on the stone floor. In the hallway, she pauses before a small altar, just a shelf set with a sprig of rosemary, a painted icon, and a shallow bowl of water. She dips her fingers into the bowl, making a quiet prayer for peace and protection, for her home and for all whom she loves. The ritual is old, comforting, a thread connecting her to the women who came before her. She straightens the icon with a gentle touch and breathes in the scent of rosemary, sharp and invigorating. The candlelight flickers, casting dancing shadows across the wall, and the herbalist feels the presence of comfort, of history woven into the very stones of her home. In the bedroom, she turns down the woolen blankets, smoothing them with careful hands. The straw mattress is firm but yielding, the sheets cool and inviting. She places a small sprig of lavender beneath her pillow, a nightly custom for restful sleep. From a basket beside the bed, she removes a shawl, woven from undyed sheep's wool, and drapes it around her shoulders. The fabric is soft and slightly scratchy, its warmth immediate and reassuring. She sits on the edge of the bed, listening to the rain, her thoughts gentle and unhurried. The world feels distant now, reduced to the small, safe circle of her lamp's glow and the hush of falling water. The herbalist closes her eyes, breathing deeply, allowing the day's worries to melt away, replaced by the comfort of her home and her own quiet presence. Before retiring, she opens a small wooden box set upon her bedside table. Within are tiny vials of essential oils, lavender, rose, and sweet marjoram, match carefully distilled by her own hands. She uncorks the lavender and dabs a drop upon her wrists, the scent sweet and calming. The oil glistens on her skin, catching the lamplight. She closes the box and sits for a moment, hands folded in her lap. On the table rests a prayer book, its cover tooled with vines, and she reads a single page. The words familiar and comforting. The candle beside her burns low, its flame steady and golden. The rain is softer now, a mere whisper against the panes. The herbalist feels her breath slow, her heart settle, as she prepares to slip quietly into sleep, surrounded by the scents and sounds of her peaceful world. But before she lies down, the herbalist remembers one final task. She fetches a small, lidded basket from the kitchen and fills it with a selection of dried herbs, chamomile, mint, and rose petals measured with care. She will deliver this gift to her friend in the village tomorrow, a token of her gratitude and affection. She tucks a slip of parchment inside, upon which she has written a short, encouraging note. The basket is tied with a ribbon, the ends trailing like tendrils of ivy. She sets it by the door, ready for morning. The act of giving, of tending to others with gentle hands and a kind heart, is the heart of her work and her joy. The cottage is still, the air heavy with the promise of sleep, as the candle flickers low and the rain's murmur becomes ever more gentle. The herbalist slips beneath the covers, drawing the blankets to her chin. The bed is soft and warm, the faint scent of lavender rising from the sachet beneath her pillow. The cat curls beside her, its purr a soft vibration against her side. She listens to the rain, now little more than a distant hush, as she allows her mind to wander through the events of the day, the gathering of herbs, the laughter shared over tea, the comforting rituals of evening. Each memory is a bead on a string, counted and cherished, a necklace of small joys. Outside, the world is bathed in silver, every leaf and stone washed clean by the rain. The herbalist smiles to herself, grateful for the gentle cycle of seasons, the steady rhythm of work and rest, and the quiet beauty of her life. She turns on her side, adjusting the pillows until they cradle her head just so. The woolen blankets are heavy and comforting, pressing her gently toward sleep. She gazes around the room, taking in the play of candlelight on the whitewashed walls, the delicate shadows cast by the dried herbs hanging from the rafters. A small wooden chest sits at the foot of the bed, painted with wild flowers and vines, a gift from her father long ago. The herbalist closes her eyes and listens to the last drops of rain, each one a lullaby. She thinks of the garden in springtime, the rows of lavender stretching toward the horizon, the promise of new life in each green shoot. In the silence, she feels the presence of her loved ones, living and departed, woven into the fabric of her days, a gentle, everlasting comfort. The herbalist's breathing slows, deep and even, as she drifts toward sleep. The room is filled with a soft, golden glow, the last candle nearing its end. The rain has all but ceased, leaving behind only a faint, sweet scent in the air. She dreams of warm mornings, the laughter of friends, the joy of a well-tended garden. In her dream, she walks among the lavender rows, hands brushing the fragrant flowers, the sun gentle on her shoulders. Bees hum nearby, busy and content, and the world is quiet except for their song. She feels light and free, at peace in this dreamscape of color and scent. The cottage, the garden, the fields all are safe and still, held in the gentle embrace of sleep and memory as the night deepens and the world slips softly into silence. A gentle breeze stirs the curtains, carrying the lingering perfume of wet earth and herbs. The herbalist dreams on, her mind wandering through sun-drenched meadows and quiet woodland paths. She sees herself kneeling by a stream, cupping cool water in her hands, watching tiny fish dart among the stones. The sound of water is soothing, a counterpoint to the echo of rain on the roof. She gathers wild mint from the banks, its leaves sharp and bright, and tucks them into her basket beside violets and wild strawberries. In this dream, time is soft and slow, the days lingering and rich with possibility. Each step is light, each breath easy, as she moves through the world with gratitude and wonder. The cottage is always in the distance, its windows shining like beacons, promising warmth and rest. Back in the cottage, the candle burns low, its flame steady and small. The cat is a warm, purring wait at her side, content in the safety of their home. The herbalist dreams of a gentle gathering friends seated at a long wooden table, laughter mingling with the scent of rosemary and thyme. They share bread and cheese, ripe figs, and sweet honey, their conversation easy and kind. The walls are strung with garlands of wild flowers, and above, the beams are hung with ribbons and tiny bells. There is music, soft lute notes drifting through the evening air, a song of peace and joy. The herbalist smiles in her sleep, her heart swelling with the happiness of community and love. The world is safe, the night is gentle, and the rain has become a memory woven into the fabric of her dreams. As midnight draws near, the candle's flame flickers low, casting long shadows across the whitewashed walls. The herbalist's sleep is deep and tranquil, her breath even and slow. In her dreams, she walks through the garden at dusk, the air alive with the scent of blooming lavender and damp earth. The sky is awash of violet and indigo, and the first stars are peeking through the clouds. She moves among the beds of herbs, touching each plant in gratitude. Bees sleep in their hives, petals are folded tight, and the world is hushed, expectant, serene. The garden is a sanctuary, a place of healing and hope, tended by gentle hands and a loving heart. Each step she takes is soft, her feet brushing dew from the grass as she circles the cottage, feeling utterly at peace in the gentle embrace of night. A soft knock sounds in her dream, and the herbalist answers to find a young apprentice, eyes bright and eager. The apprentice asks to learn the craft of herbs, to understand the quiet wisdom of roots and leaves. The herbalist welcomes her inside, offering a seat by the fire and a cup of fragrant tea. They speak in hushed tones, the words flowing like water off the uses of chamomile, the secrets of wild thyme, the art of blending tinctures for healing and comfort. The apprentice listens intently, her hands folded in her lap, her eyes wide with wonder. The herbalist feels the joy of sharing knowledge, of nurturing another's curiosity and care. The rain continues outside, steady and soft, as the two women form a gentle bond, their connection woven through with laughter, kindness, and the shared work of tending the earth. The dream shifts, and the herbalist finds herself in a sunlit meadow, the air alive with the chorus of birds and the drone of bees. She kneels among the grasses, gathering wild sage and sweet marjoram, her basket soon filled with fragrant leaves. She pauses to watch a butterfly swallowtail, its wings the color of lemon peel and colorlight on a stalk of lavender. The moment is still, suspended in golden light. The herbalist closes her eyes, inhaling the scents of summer hay, earth, and flowers, each note distinct and comforting. In this dream, there is no hurry, no fear, only the soft presence of the world and her own quiet joy. The meadow stretches away, bordered by tall cypresses and distant mountains, promising endless days of peace and gentle labor beneath the pruvinal sky. Back in the waking world, the night is deep, and the candle has guttered at last, leaving the room in velvet shadow. The herbalist sleeps on, her face serene, her body curled beneath the woolen blankets. The cat stirs, kneading the coverlet before settling once more, its purr a gentle rhythm in the quiet. The rain has faded to a memory, replaced by the soft rustle of wind in the lavender field beyond the cottage walls. Moonlight slips through the cracks in the shutters, painting the room with silver stripes. The air is cool, tinged with the scent of herbs and old wood, and the world holds its breath, waiting for dawn. In the stillness, the herbalist dreams of home, of warmth of the hearth, the laughter of friends, the steady, loving work of hands that heal and nurture. The dream carries her to the edge of the garden, where a low stone wall is covered in moss and lichen. She sits upon it, gazing out at the fields, where rain has washed the world clean and left every blade of grass shining. The sky is pale and endless, streaked with lingering clouds. She feels the roughness of stone beneath her, the cool touch of moss, and the gentle weight of her linen apron upon her lap. In her hands, she holds a small bundle of wild sage, its scent sharp and comforting. A distant church bell rings, a slow, contemplative sound reminding her of the turning of the hours. She is content to simply sit and watch, to be present in this quiet world, to feel the ebb and flow of time as gentle as the tide. The garden, the fields, the sky, all are held in the same loving embrace. Herbalist's dream lingers on the memory of a distant friend, a letter received on a rainy afternoon, the words a bridge across miles and years. She recalls the careful script, the faded ink, the pressed flower tucked inside. In the dream, the friend appears at her door, arms open in greeting, laughter bright as bells. They sit together in the kitchen, sharing stories over bread and cheese, their conversation flowing with ease and affection. The herbalist feels the warmth of friendship, the solace of companionship, the deep, sustaining joy of being truly known. The scene is tender, imbued with the soft light of memory and hope. Even as the dream shifts, the feeling remains a gentle reminder that love and connection are the true treasures of her life, enduring beyond time and distance, as constant as the rain and the turning of seasons. The dream fades, and the herbalist floats in gentle darkness, cocooned by the warmth of her blankets and the slow, steady beat of her heart. The cat purrs softly, its body curled against hers, a silent guardian through the night. She is aware, on some distant level, of the world outside, of rain-soaked fields, of lavender rose glimmering in moonlight, of the distant hush of wind in the trees. The cottage is silent, each room a sanctuary of peace and order, each object a testament to her care and devotion. In this space, there is no need for fear or haste, only the slow, unfolding comfort of rest. The herbalist breathes deeply, her body sinking further into sleep, her mind adrift on gentle currents of memory and dream. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. Dawn is still far off, and the world is hushed in anticipation. The herbalist's dreams become gentle and form the soft swats of color, the feel of sun-warmed linen, the scent of lavender rising from a summer field. Time stretches, slows, becomes meaningless. She is weightless, drifting through memories of childhood, running barefoot through the grass, the laughter of sisters, the loving admonition of her mother as she tumbled home, skirts damp with dew. The dream is a lullaby, sweet and soothing, cradling her in the safety of the past. In the darkness, the rain begins again, a light patter against the roof, as if the world itself is singing her to sleep. She surrenders to it, letting go of thought, allowing herself to be carried gently into the deepest realms of rest and peace. The herbalist, even in sleep, senses the subtle changes of the night's soft hush as rain shifts to mist, the gentle heaviness that settles over her cottage. She dreams of a walled garden, its paths lined with boxwood, its beds overflowing with lavender, sage, and rosemary. The walls are warm with sunlight, the stones laced with trailing ivy. She walks the paths barefoot, feeling the cool flagstones beneath her feet, the caress of damp leaves against her skirt. At the garden's center sits a stone bench, its surface worn smooth by generations of gentlewomen. She sits, closes her eyes, and listens to the distant murmur of bees, the flutter of wings in the fig tree, the whisper of the breeze through tall grass. Time is a slow river, her heart its gentle tide, and she is content to simply be, to rest in the heart of her world. In the quiet depths of night, the herbalist is wrapped in dreams of healing, a procession of neighbors arriving at her door, seeking balm for body and spirit. She welcomes each with a smile, offering tinctures, salves, and soothing words. A mother comes with her child, fretting over a fever. A farmer brings a twisted ankle. An elder seeks relief from aching joints. To each, the herbalist gives her gentle touch, her knowledge, her compassion. She prepares teas of chamomile and linden, applies poultices of comfrey and marigold, and wraps wounds with linen bandages embroidered with tiny flowers. Her hands are steady, her voice low and reassuring, her heart open and kind. Healing is more than craft, it is an act of love, a gift to her community, a thread that binds her to all those she serves. In her dreams, all are restored, all are comforted, all are safe. The rain outside has all but faded, leaving only the faintest whisper against the shutters. The candle has burned out, and the only light is that of the moon, silver and serene, streaming through the cracks in the window. The herbalist sleeps on, her face relaxed, her hair a tumble of soft braids across the pillow. The cat lies beside her, a steady presence through the long hours of darkness. The cottage is silent but for the occasional snap of cooling stone or the distant hoot of an owl. In this deep hush, the herbalist's dreams become gentle and abstract snatches of melody, the brush of wind through lavender, the warmth of summer sun upon her skin. Her mind drifts in and out of memory, held safely by the walls of her cottage and the love that fills every quiet corner. In her dreams, the herbalist visits the village market, its square bustling beneath an awning of pale linen. Stalls are laden with woven baskets of apples, bunches of wild flowers, and loaves of crusty bread. She greets the other women with smiles and gentle words, exchanging news and laughter, offering advice for ailments and recipes for stews. She barters a bundle of lavender for fresh eggs, a handful of mint for a wedge of soft goat's cheese. The air is lively but never hurried, the market a place of community and caring. The herbalist moves through the square with quiet purpose, gathering what she needs, sharing the bounty of her garden, and returning home with her basket full. The dream is bright and warm, a celebration of friendship, of shared work, of the enduring strength of women bound together by kindness and trust. The scene softens and changes. The herbalist is now in her kitchen, surrounded by friends. The table is set with earthenware mugs, a platter of ripe pears, and a pot of herbal tea steaming at the center. They speak softly, their laughter low and musical, hands busy with spinning, weaving, and embroidery. One friend tells of her child's first steps, another of a new recipe for barley bread. The herbalist listens, offering comfort and encouragement, her presence calm and steady. Outside, rain streaks the windows, drawing watery patterns across the glass. Inside, the air is thick with the scents of cinnamon, clove, and sweet apple. Their gathering is peaceful, a moment out of time, a gentle reminder that even in the smallest of circles, there is sanctuary, and in every shared loaf, there is love. From the kitchen, the dream drifts again to the garden newly washed by rain, water pooling in the hollows of flagstones, lavender glistening in the dawn's first light. The herbalist kneels beside a row of sage, fingers gently parting the leaves to check for dew. She gathers a handful, the leaves cool and velvety, and inhales their sharp, clean scent. Birds begin to sing, their voices bright and hopeful, threading through the gentle hush. The world feels new, every color vivid, every sound distinct. She pauses to watch a snail trace its slow path along the garden wall, its shell spiraled in shades of cream and brown. There is beauty in every detail, a story in every stone and leaf. The morning is soft and slow, the day ahead full of promise, as the herbalist returns to the cottage, arms full of fresh herbs and heart full of quiet joy. The herbalist's dream lingers on the gentle rhythm of daily life, with gathering of herbs, the tending of the fire, the preparation of meals. She kneads bread on a floured board, the dough yielding and warm beneath her hands. She slices apples for a tart, their skins shining in the sun, their flesh sweet and crisp. The scent of cinnamon and honey drifts through the cottage, mingling with the ever-present fragrance of lavender. She moves through her tasks with ease, her movements fluid and sure, each act an offering of care to herself and her home. The world outside is lush and green, the air cool and clean. The herbalist feels the deep satisfaction of a day well spent, of small joys savored and shared, of a life lived in harmony with the turning of the seasons and the gentle demands of the earth. A memory surfaced herbalist as a young girl, following her grandmother through a wild meadow at dusk. The older woman's hands are gnarled but gentle, her eyes bright with wisdom and kindness. She teaches the child to recognize yarrow from feverfew, to tell good soil by its scent, to listen for the song of bees in the thyme. The child's apron is soon filled with flowers, her heart alight with wonder. They return home together, baskets overflowing, laughter mingling with the chirr of crickets. The cottage is warm and bright, the hearth crackling, the table set with bowls of soup and slices of brown bread. The memory is sweet and vivid, a cherished pearl in the string of the herbalist's life. She holds it close, grateful for the lineage of women who have taught her to heal, to nurture, and to find beauty in all things. The dream shifts once more, and the herbalist finds herself in the quiet stillness of her workshop. Sunlight streams through the window, catching dust motes that dance in the air like tiny golden spirits. She grinds dried rose petals in her mortar, their color deepening as the petals break apart. The scent is rich, almost intoxicating, and she savors the texture beneath her pestle, soft, then gritty, then silken. She adds the petals to a salve of beeswax and almond oil, stirring slowly until the mixture thickens. She pours it into small stone jars, each one carefully labeled, the lids sealed with a kiss of tallow. The workshop is peaceful, shelves lined with bottles, bundles of herbs drying from the beams, the tools of her craft arranged in perfect order. Here, in the quiet, the herbalist finds her greatest solace, her truest self. The world outside is washed clean by rain, the air sparkling, the garden vibrant with new growth. The herbalist dreams of walking the garden paths, a basket on her arm, gathering the day's harvest. She picks nasturtium flowers for salads, rosemary for remembrance, borage for courage. She pauses to taste a wild strawberry, its sweetness sharp and bright, a jewel nestled among the leaves. The garden is alive with the soft buzz of bees and the flutter of butterflies, each creature a friend, each flower a promise. She kneels to loosen the earth around a clump of chives, fingers muddy and content. The work is slow and satisfying, each gesture a prayer, each plant a blessing. When her basket is full, she sits on a low stone bench, breathing deeply, her spirit as refreshed as the world around her by the gentle cleansing rain. The dream is soft and golden, a lullaby woven from the textures and scents of her life. The herbalist sits before her fire, spinning flax into thread, the wheel humming softly beneath her foot. The fiber slips through her fingers, transforming into a fine, strong line, ready for weaving into linen or darning a cherished gown. She watches the thread build upon the spindle, its color pale as moonlight, its texture smooth and even. The room is quiet, the only sound the whir of the wheel and the crackle of the hearth. Outside, the last drops of rain fall from the eaves, dripping onto the flagstones below. The herbalist feels the deep contentment that comes from creation, from making something lasting and beautiful with her hands. She is at home in the rhythm of the wheel, in the peace of her cottage, in the soft embrace of sleep. As the night wears on, the herbalist's dreams become slower, more meditative. She is walking a forest path, the ground soft with fallen needles, the air scented with pine and earth. Light filters through the branches, dappling her gown, turning each raindrop to a tiny prism. She stops to pick elderflowers, their tiny white petals bright against the green. Her basket is soon heavy with blossoms, and she sits upon a mossy log to rest. She listens to the forest call of a distant dove, the sigh of the wind through the pines, the gentle patter of rain on the canopy above. She feels utterly at peace, a part of the world's slow turning, her heart beating in time with the earth. The dream is a sanctuary, a place of quiet restoration, where every breath brings new strength and every moment is a gentle blessing. In this sheltered place, the herbalist finds a sense of timelessness, a feeling that she has always been here, tending the earth, soothing hurts, sharing wisdom. The forest is dappled with sunlight, the air alive with the scent of green things and the promise of rain. She gathers handfuls of wild sorrel, its leaves tart and bright, and tucks them into her basket beside the elderflowers. She is joined by a fawn, curious and unafraid, its coat dappled with white. It sniffs her hand and allows her to stroke its silken flank before it bounds away deeper into the woods. The moment is fleeting but precious, a reminder of the gentle interactions that shape her days. She sits a while longer watching the play of sunlight and shadow, feeling herself dissolve into the beauty of the world, her spirit quiet and still. The dream begins to slow, settling into a gentle rhythm. The herbalist walks home through mist and rain, the forest path soft beneath her feet. The world is muted, every sound softened by the hush of water upon leaves and earth. She gathers her cloak around her shoulders, feeling the warmth of the wool against her skin. The basket on her arm is full herbs, flowers, wild fruits, or gifts of the earth, gathered with gratitude. At the edge of the woods, she pauses to look back, offering a silent blessing to the trees and creatures who share her world. She steps out into the open, the cottage lamp shining through the mist, a beacon of home and safety. The air is scented with rain and lavender, and the herbalist feels the deep satisfaction of a journey completed, of a day well lived, of a life rooted in love and care. She returns in her dream to the cottage, removing her cloak and hanging it on a wooden peg. The kitchen is warm and inviting, the fire crackling in the hearth, the cat stretching luxuriously on the rush mat. The herbalist sets her basket on the table, carefully unpacking each treasure. She arranges the elderflowers on a tray to dry, sets the sorrel in a bowl of cool water, and rinses her hands in a basin scented with lemon balm. The room is filled with the gentle sounds of home, the ticking of the clock, the sigh of the wind at the door, the soft murmur of the fire. She feels the presence of those she loves in every object, every scent, every shadow on the wall. The day is nearly done, and she is at peace, her heart as full as her basket, her spirit light as the lavender-scented air. The herbalist sits by the fire, a shawl wrapped around her shoulders, and writes in her journal. The pages are creamy and thick, the ink brown and faintly scented with oak gall. By candlelight, she records the day's events, the herbs gathered, the remedies given, the laughter shared with neighbors. She sketches a sprig of elderflower, each tiny blossom captured with delicate strokes. The act of writing is meditative, a way to honor her life and preserve its quiet joys. She pauses often, listening to the rain, watching the play of shadows on the walls. Outside, the world is silent, washed clean by the storm. Inside, all is order and comfort. The rituals of daily life are balm against the world's uncertainties. She closes her journal with a sigh of contentment, setting it beside the candle, and lets her gaze wander to the softly sleeping cat. The room grows still, the light from the hearth low and golden. The herbalist prepares for bed, folding her shawl and placing it on the stool beside her. She checks the windows, making certain the latches are secure, then blows out the candle, watching as the wick glows red before darkening. She moves through her evening routine with quiet care, dipping her hands in lavender-scented water, brushing her hair with slow, deliberate strokes, laying out her gown for the morning. The sheets are cool and welcoming, the blankets heavy and warm. She slips between them, drawing the covers to her chin, and feels the gentle presence of the cat settling once more at her side. The night is deep, the rain a memory, and the world is reduced to the small, safe circle of her cottage and the soft, steady rhythm of her breath. In the final moments before sleep, the herbalist offers a prayer of gratitude to the earth for its bounty, to the rain for its cleansing, to her family and friends for their love. She closes her eyes, letting her thoughts drift like petals on a stream. She is surrounded by the scents of lavender, beeswax, and clean linen, each one a promise of comfort and peace. The cottage is quiet, the world outside stilled by rain and darkness. In this sanctuary, the herbalist feels herself dissolve into rest, her body light and weightless, her spirit open and free. She surrenders to sleep, trusting in the gentle order of her days and the enduring safety of her home. The night is long and deep, the rain a lullaby, and the dreams that come are soft and sweet, as gentle as the hands that tend the garden and the hearth. Outside, dawn is a rumor, a faint grey light seeping through the cracks of the shutters, the rain reduced to a mist that hovers above the fields. The herbalist stirs in her sleep, the cat stretching beside her, its fur warm and silken. She dreams of a garden awash with dew, the world fresh and new, every leaf sparkling, every blossom heavy with promise. She walks the paths barefoot, the flagstones cool and smooth, her gown brushing the damp grass. The air is alive with the scent of wet earth and lavender, each breath a tonic, each step a blessing. She pauses by the well, draws a bucket of clear, cold water, and drinks deeply, the taste pure and refreshing. In this dream, the world is kind and unhurried, every moment suffused with the peace that comes from gentle work and quiet gratitude. The dream lingers as the herbalist wakes, opening her eyes to the soft light of morning. The room is cool, the blankets heavy and comforting, the cat still curled at her side. She stretches, yawns, and listens. The rain has stopped, replaced by the delicate chorus of birdsong and the distant toll of the village bell. She rises slowly, wrapping herself in her woolen shawl, and moves quietly through the cottage. The air is fresh and clean, the scent of lavender stronger now, mingling with the faint trace of rain and wood smoke. She opens the shutters, letting in the pale morning light, and gazes out at the garden, where the world is still and new. Each leaf glistens, each flower nods, and the earth itself seems to sigh with relief. The herbalist feels the promise of another gentle day unfolding before her. She moves to the kitchen, lighting a fresh candle to greet the dawn. The flame is small but determined, casting golden circles on the whitewashed walls. She fetches her kettle, fills it with water from the earthenware jug, and sets it on the hearth to warm. The fire has burned low, but a few embers remain, glowing red among the ash. She adds kindling, coaxing the flames to life, and listens to the gentle crackle as the warmth spreads through the room. On the table, she arranges a simple breakfast: yesterday's bread, a wedge of cheese, a jar of honey, and a pot of chamomile tea. She eats slowly, savoring each bite, feeling the strength return to her body, the peace settle in her heart. The world outside is quiet and still, the rain a memory, the day ahead full of gentle possibility. A herbalist washes her hands in a basin of cool, lavender-scented water, the sensation both bracing and soothing. She dries them on a linen towel, its weave soft and familiar, and ties on her apron for the day's work. The apron is pale, embroidered with tiny violets along the hem, the fabric worn to a perfect softness by many washings. She gathers her basket and steps into the garden, pausing to breathe in the fresh, rain-washed air. The earth is dark and rich beneath her feet, the plants vibrant with new life. She checks each bed: mint, thyme, rosemary, lavender, pausing to brush her hand over the leaves, to greet each plant as an old friend. The morning is silent but for the song of a single robin, its notes bright and clear, an offering of hope to the new day. She begins her work, heart light and hands steady. She moves through the garden with purpose, gathering the herbs she will need for the day's remedies: soft chamomile heads for tea, sturdy sage leaves for tinctures, fine threads of saffron from her tiny crocus patch. She works slowly, mindful of each plant, thanking the earth for its gifts. The basket on her arm is soon fragrant with the mingled scents of summer. She pauses to greet a neighbor who leans over the stone wall to share news of the village: a new foal born, a wedding to come, the promise of a fair day for market. They exchange herbs and smiles, offering comfort and care in every gesture. The herbalist feels the strength of her community, the quiet web of kindness that binds them all. The sun climbs higher, the last drops of rain drying from the eaves, and the world is bright with promise. Returning to the cottage, the herbalist spreads her harvest upon the work table, each leaf and blossom arranged with care. She selects a few stems of mint for drying, tying them into neat bundles with flaxen thread. The rest she chops for a soothing syrup, the knife moving swiftly and surely through the greens. She adds honey from her own hive, its sweetness thick and golden, and stirs the mixture over a gentle flame. The air fills with the scent of mint and sugar, a fragrance both bright and comforting. She pours the syrup into glass bottles, their surfaces cool and smooth, sealing each with a cork and a ribbon of blue silk. These will be gifts for her friends and neighbors, tokens of gratitude and care. The kitchen is quiet, the only sound the soft bubbling of the syrup and the distant call of doves from the garden. With the morning's work nearly done, the herbalist prepares a small bouquet of lavender and rosemary, tying it with a length of green twine. She places it in the window where the sun will draw out the scent, filling the cottage with the fragrance of summer. She sits for a moment, sipping a cup of nettle tea, the brew earthy and invigorating. Her hands rest quietly in her lap, the warmth of the porcelain seeping into her palms. Outside, the world is fresh and new, the rain-washed garden alive with color and promise. She feels a deep contentment, a sense that all is as it should be. The cat joins her, leaping onto the windowsill to watch the birds, its tail curling around her arm. They sit together in the sunlight, sharing the gentle peace of the morning, the unspoken bond of love and trust. The herbalist turns her attention to her store of remedies, checking each jar and bottle, replenishing those that are low, noting what must be gathered in the coming days. She grinds dried sage and marjoram in her mortar, the sound soft and steady, the scent rising in the warm air. She mixes a salve for aches and bruises, blending beeswax, olive oil, and a pinch of comfrey. The texture is smooth and golden, the aroma deep and soothing. She fills a clay pot, pressing a circle of linen over the mouth before sealing it with twine. Her work is quiet but purposeful, each step a dance of care and knowledge. The shelves are soon full, rows of bottles and jars catching the light, their contents a map of the garden, a testament to her craft. She feels pride and gratitude, knowing her work brings comfort to those she loves. She takes a moment to write in her journal, recording the day's harvest, the remedies made, the gentle weather. Her script is neat, her hands steady, each word a quiet act of remembrance. She sketches a sprig of rosemary, the lines delicate and true, a memory preserved in ink and thought. The act of writing is a meditation, a way to honor the small moments that make up her days. She pauses to sip her tea, the taste bright and clean, the cup warm against her lips. The cat curls at her feet, purring softly, a gentle, grounding presence. The world outside is quiet, the village still peaceful in the aftermath of rain. The herbalist feels the slow, steady rhythm of her life, the gentle turning of seasons, the deep comfort of home and hearth. She smiles, grateful for the quiet abundance of her days. A gentle knock sounds at the door. Her friend from the neighboring cottage, arms laden with a basket of fresh eggs and a pot of honey. They greet each other with warm smiles, exchanging news and laughter, sharing the bounty of their gardens. The herbalist pours tea for them both, the steam curling in the morning light, the scent of chamomile and lemon balm filling the room. They sit together at the table, breaking bread, tasting honey, speaking softly of their hopes and plans. The world outside is bright and green, the rain a memory, the air alive with birdsong. In their company, the herbalist feels the strength of community, the gentle web of care that binds them all. Their conversation is easy, filled with affection and respect, the kind of friendship that grows slowly, rooted deep in shared experience and quiet kindness. They talk of gardens and weather, of children and recipes, of the small triumphs and trials of everyday life. The herbalist listens with an open heart, offering advice and encouragement, her words gentle and wise. She shares a jar of her mint syrup, explaining its uses and benefits, and her friend offers a recipe for honey cakes in return. The exchange is more than trade, it is a ritual of care, a celebration of the bonds that knit their lives together. They sit for a while longer, sipping tea, watching the play of sunlight on the wall, listening to the distant bells of the village church. The conversation drifts, growing quieter, the silence is as comfortable as the words. When her friend departs, the herbalist stands at the door, waving goodbye, her heart warm and full, grateful for the gentle companionship of the morning. With the cottage quiet once more, the herbalist returns to her work. She gathers the empty jars and bottles, washing them in a basin of warm, lavender-scented water. The glass is cool and slippery beneath her hands, the linen towel soft and absorbent. She stacks each vessel on the drying rack, their surfaces gleaming in the sunlight. The cat watches from the doorway, tail curled around its paws, eyes half closed in contentment. The kitchen is clean and orderly, every object in its place, every surface polished to a gentle shine. She pauses to light a fresh candle, its flame steady and bright, its scent sweet with beeswax. The simple act of cleaning and arranging brings her peace, a sense of control and comfort in a world that is often uncertain. The rain is gone, the day bright with promise, and she smiles as she surveys her tidy home. She steps outside to gather firewood, the basket heavy on her arm, the air crisp and clean after the rain. The woodpile is stacked neatly against the cottage wall, the logs seasoned and fragrant with resin. She selects the driest pieces, feeling the rough texture beneath her fingers, and carries them inside. The fire is soon crackling, its warmth spreading through the cottage, its light dancing on the hearth. She sits before the flames, stretching her feet toward the heat, savoring the comfort of the moment. The cat joins her, purring softly, its fur warm against her ankles. The world outside is quiet, the garden glistening in the sun, the earth still damp and fragrant. The herbalist feels the deep satisfaction of a home well cared for, a day well begun, a life lived in harmony with the gentle rhythms of nature. As the morning turns to afternoon, the herbalist prepares a simple meal: barley stew with wild herbs, a crust of bread, a dish of stewed pears. She moves through the kitchen with quiet confidence, her hands sure and steady, each ingredient chosen with care. The stew simmers on the hearth, filling the room with the scent of thyme and bay. The bread is sliced thick and spread with honey, the pears sweet and tender in their spiced syrup. She eats slowly, savoring each bite, her thoughts drifting to the work yet to be done, the pleasures yet to come. The day is soft and slow, the world outside bright and golden, the rain a distant memory. She cleans her dishes, dries them with a linen cloth, and sets them neatly upon the shelf. The cottage is filled with the gentle music of daily life, each note a promise of peace and contentment. The herbalist spends the afternoon tending to her apothecary. She checks her stores of herbs, refilling jars with dried lavender, rosemary, and sage. She grinds poppy seeds for a soothing ointment, the mortar cool and heavy in her hands. She blends a tincture of valerian, measuring each drop with care, the scent earthy and calming. The shelves are soon lined with remedies, each bottle and jar a testament to her knowledge, her patience, her devotion. She feels the deep satisfaction of her work, the quiet pride of one who brings comfort to others. The cat weaves between her feet, purring in approval, and she pauses to scratch its head, marveling at the softness of its fur. The world is gentle and kind, the day bright and orderly, the rain gone, leaving only the fragrance of lavender and the promise of another peaceful night. As the sun dips lower in the sky, the herbalist prepares for the evening. She closes the shutters, lighting candles in each room, their flames casting golden pools of light on the whitewashed walls. She draws water from the well, filling a pitcher for her nighttime tea. She adds chamomile and lemon balm to the pot, the herbs swirling in the hot water, releasing their sweet, calming fragrance. She sips the tea slowly, the warmth spreading through her body, the tension of the day melting away. She sits by the fire, the cat on her lap, her thoughts gentle and unhurried. She reflects on the day's tasks accomplished, the joys savored, the small kindnesses given and received. The world outside is silent, the garden dark and restful, the air soft and cool. She feels the peace of a life well lived, the comfort of home and hearth. The evening deepens, the cottage growing quieter as the world settles into dusk. The herbalist lights a lantern and moves through her home, checking each room, ensuring all is in order for the night. The beds are made, the shelves tidy, the hearth swept clean. She opens the window for a moment, letting in the cool night air, the scent of lavender drifting in from the garden. She listens to the distant sounds of the village, lowing of cattle, the laughter of children, the slow toll of the church bell. The air is filled with the gentle hush of evening, the promise of rest and renewal. She closes the window, drawing the curtains tight, and lets out a deep, contented sigh. The cat follows her to the bedchamber, leaping onto the blankets, curling into a tight, warm ball. The cottage is safe and still, the night gentle and kind. She prepares for bed, changing into a soft linen nightgown, brushing her hair with long, slow strokes. The candle on her bedside table flickers, its light golden and steady, its scent sweet with beeswax. She smooths the woolen blankets, fluffing the pillows, and places a fresh sachet of lavender beneath her pillow. She sits on the edge of the bed, her hands folded in her lap, and offers a quiet prayer of gratitude for the gifts of the day, for the love of friends, for the beauty of the earth. She feels the slow, steady beat of her heart, the gentle rhythm of her breath, the deep peace of a life lived with care and purpose. She lies down, pulling the covers close, and lets her eyes drift closed, surrendering to the softness of the bed, the warmth of the blankets, the comfort of home. In the quiet darkness, the herbalist listens to the sounds of the night, soft rustle of the cat at her feet, the distant calling of an owl, the faint sigh of the wind in the lavender field. The cottage is warm and safe, the world outside hushed and still. She feels herself drifting, her thoughts soft and slow, her body heavy and relaxed. She dreams of gardens and hearths, of laughter and love, of the gentle work that fills her days. The scent of lavender and beeswax is a lullaby, the softness of linen and wool a gentle embrace. The night is deep, the darkness soothing, the world reduced to the safe, small circle of her bed. She surrenders to sleep, her mind quiet and calm, her heart full and hopeful. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. As the hours slip by, the candle burns low, its flame a tiny star in the darkness. The room is filled with the soft rhythm of the herbalist's breath, the gentle purr of the cat, the distant echo of church bells marking the passage of time. The world outside is silent, the rain long gone, the fields glistening beneath a wash of silver moonlight. The lavender sways gently in the night breeze, their fragrance drifting through the open window, mingling with the cool air. The herbalist sleeps deeply, her dreams slow and peaceful, her body relaxed and weightless. The cottage is a haven, the night a blanket, the air thick with the promise of rest. All is quiet, all is gentle, All is safe. The candle gutters, its flame flickering lower, casting soft shadows on the walls. The herbalist stirs, shifting in her sleep, the blankets rustling softly. The cat moves closer, its body a warm, comforting presence against her feet. The world is utterly still, every sound muffled by the deep embrace of night. She breathes in, the scent of lavender and beeswax filling her senses, and sighs, sinking deeper into rest. The hours slip by, marked only by the slow, steady rhythm of breath and the occasional creak of the cottage settling. Outside, the garden is quiet, the lavender fields silvered with dew, the stars wheeling slowly overhead. The herbalist dreams of peace, of comfort, of the gentle work that fills her days. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. The last of the candlelight flickers, casting golden rings on the whitewashed ceiling. The herbalist's sleep is deep and untroubled, her body relaxed, her mind quiet. The cat purrs softly, a tender anchor in the darkness. The world outside is silent, the only movement the slow drift of clouds across the moon, the gentle sway of lavender in the breeze. The air is cool, scented with rain and earth, the darkness thick and soothing. The herbalist dreams of quiet mornings, of sunlit rooms, of laughter shared over tea and bread. The night is long and deep, the peace unbroken, every moment a balm to her soul. She is carried gently, softly, deeper and deeper into sleep, the world around her dissolving into silence and stillness. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. The candle gutters and fades, leaving the room in perfect darkness. The herbalist sleeps on, the cat curled close, the blankets warm and heavy. The world outside is utterly silent, every sound muffled by the thick embrace of night. The lavender fields are a silver sea, the air cool and clean, the earth peaceful and at rest. She dreams of gardens blooming in spring, of quiet afternoons in the kitchen, of friends gathered around the table, their laughter soft as the patter of rain. The night is endless, the cottage a sanctuary of peace and comfort, the herbalist herself a gentle presence at its heart. She breathes slowly, deeply, her dreams slow and sweet, her body utterly at ease. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. Outside, the first faint light of dawn brushes the horizon, a promise of day to come. The world is quiet, the fields silvered with dew, the lavender heavy with scent. The herbalist sleeps on, her breath even and calm, her body wrapped in the warmth of blankets and the gentle presence of the cat. The cottage is silent, the air thick with the perfume of lavender and beeswax, the darkness deep and soothing. The world is at peace, every moment slow and gentle, every sound softened by the cloak of night. She dreams of safe places, of loving hands, of the steady rhythm of work and rest. The night is nearly over, the dawn a promise on the horizon, the herbalist carried softly into the deepest, gentlest sleep. The candle is gone, the ashes cool in the hearth. The room is silent, the only sound the soft, steady breathing of the herbalist and her cat. The shutters are closed, the garden dark and quiet, the lavender still in the dawn's hush. The herbalist drifts deeper, her dreams formless and gentle, her body weightless and free. The air is cool and clean, the scent of lavender rising with each breath, the silence thick and soothing. The world outside is peaceful, the fields at rest, the cottage a safe haven in the vast embrace of night. She surrenders completely, her thoughts dissolving, her body held in the gentle arms of sleep. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. The hours slip by, the world turning slowly toward dawn. The herbalist sleeps, her body heavy and warm beneath the blankets, her mind quiet and untroubled. The cat purrs softly, a gentle presence at her feet. The cottage is silent, the only sound the faintest whisper of wind in the lavender field, the distant call of a nightingale. The air is cool, the darkness deep, the peace unbroken. The herbalist dreams of gardens full of flowers, of kitchens filled with laughter, of quiet afternoons spent in gentle work. The night is long and deep, a sanctuary of rest and comfort, a haven from the world. She is safe and cherished, loved and protected, her spirit at peace in the heart of her home. The last hour of night drifts by, the world outside silent and still. The herbalist sleeps on, her breath slow and even, the cat a warm weight beside her. The blankets are soft, the sheets cool and clean, the air scented with lavender and beeswax. The cottage is cloaked in darkness, the only light the faint glow of the hearth's dying embers. Outside, the lavender fields are silvered with dew, the earth peaceful and at rest. The herbalist's dreams are soft and sweet, her body utterly relaxed, her mind free from care. She is held gently by the night, comforted by the safety of her home, soothed by the slow, steady rhythm of sleep. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. The darkness begins to thin, the first faint glow of dawn rising in the east. The world is silent, the air cool and clean, the lavender fields heavy with scent. The herbalist sleeps on, her body wrapped in the warmth of blankets, her mind quiet and calm. The cat stirs, then settles once more, purring softly. The cottage is a sanctuary, the night a gentle embrace. She breathes deeply, the scent of lavender and beeswax filling her senses, soothing her heart. The world outside is peaceful, the earth at rest, the garden waiting for the touch of morning. The herbalist is safe and cherished, her spirit at peace, her body nourished by the deep comfort of sleep. The first light of dawn slips through the shutters, painting the walls with pale gold. The world is still, the air cool, the lavender fields bathed in silver. The herbalist stirs in her sleep, her breath slow and deep, the cat curled against her feet. The cottage is quiet, every sound softened by the hush of morning. She dreams of gentle days, of sunlit gardens, of hands busy with loving work. The night is nearly over, the world turning gently toward day. The herbalist is safe and cherished, her home a haven, her life a gentle song of care and comfort. She floats in the soft embrace of sleep, her spirit at peace, her heart full of gratitude and hope. The dawn brightens, the sky pale and clear, the garden waiting in the hush of morning. The herbalist sleeps on, her breath even, her body heavy and warm beneath the blankets. The cat wakes and stretches, then settles back into the crook of her knee. The air is filled with the scent of lavender and rain, the cottage silent and still. She dreams of home, of family and friends, of laughter shared over tea and bread. The world is gentle, the day beginning slowly, every moment soft and unhurried. The herbalist is safe and cherished, her spirit at peace, her body nourished by the deep comfort of sleep. The first birds begin to sing, their voices bright and clear in the cool morning air. The herbalist stirs, her eyes fluttering beneath closed lids, her breath slow and deep. The cottage is warm and safe, the blankets soft and heavy, the scent of lavender rising with each breath. She floats in the space between sleep and waking, her dreams gentle and formless, her spirit at peace. The world outside is quiet, the garden fresh and new, the air sweet with the promise of day. The herbalist is safe and cherished, her home a sanctuary, her heart filled with the quiet joy of a life lived with care and love. The dawn grows brighter, the room filling with golden light, the world waking slowly from its long sleep. The herbalist lies quiet and still, her breath deep and even, the cat curled close beside her. The cottage is silent, the only sound the soft song of birds and the distant toll of the village bell. She is wrapped in warmth and comfort, her spirit floating in the gentle space between dreams and waking. The air is scented with lavender and beeswax, the world outside soft and bright. The herbalist is safe and cherished, her life a gentle song, her heart full of gratitude and hope. The sun rises, casting golden rays across the lavender fields, the world alive with the promise of a new day. The herbalist wakes slowly, stretching beneath the warm blankets, the cat purring beside her. The cottage is bright and peaceful, the air filled with the scent of flowers and fresh bread. She smiles, grateful for the gentle rhythm of her days, the comfort of her home, the love of her friends and family. She rises, greeting the new day with a quiet heart, ready to begin again the gentle work of tending, healing, and loving. All is well, all is safe, all is soft and still. The cottage settles into stillness, the day beginning in peace and light. The herbalist stands by the window, looking out over the lavender fields, the rain-washed world shining in the morning sun. The air is cool and sweet, the garden full of promise, the cottage silent and serene. She breathes deeply, savoring the beauty of the moment, the gentle rhythm of the world. The cat twines around her ankles, purring softly, and she smiles, feeling the deep comfort of home and hearth. She is safe, she is cherished, she is at peace. The world is gentle, the day is bright, and all is well. Sleep now, dear friend, in the soft embrace of history's gentle arms. And so, dear friend, our gentle journey comes to a close. Thank you so very much for spending this peaceful evening with us. We hope this story has brought you comfort, warmth, and the sweetest rest. Until next time, sleep well, and know that another cozy tale awaits you soon. Good night.